Welcome back, boils and ghouls, to another episode of the Indie Spotlight, the spotlight where the indie creators do it right. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Kevin Delgado's Tuff Stuff. If you guys have been, watching the channel, you've probably seen me talk a little bit about Kevin. He goes by the IG handle Solstice Art and on a bunch of social media as well. Kevin's a super nice guy. I'm really honored to be able to kind of call him a friend at this point. He sent in an absolutely mind-blowing piece for the William Mesner Loeb sale. And this is the level of stuff that he is doing for commissions. And he's also gotten some like cover work lately. Kevin's going to blow up. He's one of those guys. He's got super good work ethic. He's got his game together. He's going out on the road, I think, this month. Or maybe it's next. No, it's this month, actually. I think he's going to be doing a signing on the 21st and a couple other things. I wanted to get this video out before, but I just wanted to make sure it got out in time for everybody to get their orders in for Tuff Stuff, because this is self-published, but Kevin actually got picked up by Source Point Press, and they're reprinting this. I don't know if it's going to have the spiffy, wonderful chromium cover, but I do know that the guts are going to be the same. So if you dig what you see, make sure you get to your LCS, have them order you a copy of this. You'll be supporting a cool creator. It's a fun book, man. If you're into like outsider, crazy, I guess not, I wouldn't really call this an outlaw comic in a lot of regards, but it does have a lot of elements of an outlaw book. In many regards, it does remind me of like R. Crumb, but not, I don't know, none of the nasty parts of R. Crumb that bother me. It's like R. Crumb's Fritz the Cat, but like totally done by Gary Sheldon. And there are some awesome callbacks throughout here. Like his art is just dope. Like I love how this has got like Dark Knight Returns feel to it. Super interesting. The line work on this was really well done. I'm not always a big fan of like digital coloring, but it feels like on this book he was learning a lot. The colorist, I think, was probably, working with him better as things went on. You get some really cool shots. I really like the gradation on his head. This is a off the wall story. It's not like anything where it's not high art, but I don't think comics need to be high art. I think they're a little bit overly obsessed with that at some points at this day and age. I just enjoy reading a book that's fun. And you know what? This book is fun. There's like Battle Skull. Like this book was just fun to read. I enjoyed it. I laughed a bunch. Tuff Stuff is like this drug-addled, crazy freaking cat who's on these drug-fueled rampages. And then he always ends up like having some sort of trouble happen to him. Gangsters show up and bam, he's Tuff Stuff. He starts blowing dudes away. Some of the art in this is really incredible. I really enjoyed like that. Reminds me of Juan Jose Rip, I think his name is, who works for like Avatar or did work for Avatar. I don't know if he still does, but he did. I pointed this out, I think, when I flipped through this originally, but like Demolition Man, this ad had me freaking rolling. If you like, I want a entire comic filled with these fake ads. And here in a second, he sent me the second issue. Tuff Stuff Goes to Rehab. It thankfully has another ad in it, but I am saying, Kevin, like, give me more ads. Give me more ads. They're so freaking funny, dude. So Tuff Stuff, like, also one of the things that I appreciate is the art kind of changes to suit whatever he's doing. And there are some panels in here that legit look like seriously boss, man. Like he looks like he's gonna kick the crap out of somebody right there. Great lighting. But there are some other panels where like you can see just the like sheer horror. Like you can see the but that's another good pinup page, obviously, There are also just some good, it doesn't have to be like super detailed, but also it's cool because Kevin can really bring it when he wants to punch stuff up. And it's interesting to see him slip into that and just be like, wham, here you go. Cool shot, yanks you back into the story, reinforcing this whole like Ozymandias moment of catching a bullet with his gauntlet. Seriously cool stuff. I love the I don't know if it's intentional, but I got total like Mojo vibes off of that. I don't know. Maybe I'm totally off there. Great fight in the end here. Some good, legible freaking fights. Obviously, tons of great gore. And then the museum. This has got a pin up by my man. Yeah, James Edward Clark. Jerry Lang, man, killed. That's a crazy piece. That looks like straight Escape from New York, but totally through like Bill Sienkiewicz. And this Dan White piece was really cool. Got serious Kirby vibes off of that one. It kind of reminds me of Alexis Zerrett too, minus the like psychedelic, because like Kevin colored this one. It doesn't have nearly the same psychedelic craziness going on that most of Alexis's stuff does. So this is the second issue. Tuff Stuff goes to rehab. The first thing I wanted to show off, even though my mailman decided to be a complete thing I can't say on my channel and destroyed this freaking package pretty good. It's a really neat, well, not a replica, but a giant cassette tape. I've seen some like giant VHS stuff before. This was a first. I like this. And it came with a really cool Tuff Stuff pin. I'm super into pins, so please keep the pins coming. I always love having freaking stickers. I think I've decided I'm going to do my whole chair that I do all my interviews and my editing and stuff, and I think I'm going to do it all up in stickers like I used to have my tattooed chair done. And then obviously this is his card, Solstice Art. I'm just going to stick that over there while we look through stuff. Tuff Stuff Goes to Rehab is interesting because it's not, I don't think it was done an inordinately long time after the first issue, but you can already feel like there's a ton of refinement going on in Kevin's stuff. He's doing a bunch of like cover work now. They went with a different paper stock on this one. This reminds me a lot of the DC paper that's going on right now. Semi-gloss, not too much nasty refraction, and I think it suits his work a lot better. I know it certainly fits better with the aesthetic that this book like presents as being like post outlaw, but definitely from the underground sensibility. Plays much better than just the high gloss. Like his line work, I think it's probably just getting tighter in general as he does more work and like, tighten stuff down. But also I just think the reproduction in this issue was quite a bit better as far as representing what I know his actual artwork looks like in person, and having seen like inks and that kind of stuff, I think it's a lot truer. The story to this also, I'm going to say, is a lot more dense. There's a lot more substance. It's not, again, not saying this is dumb. It's not dumb. It's a fun comic. I just think that like so many books get hung up on telling like this huge pontifical story and like tied down into like everybody has to take you completely seriously all the time. And Kevin's like super great because if you look at the first issue of Tuff Stuff, especially, there are panels where you can see he's like, no, dude, I can draw legit. Like, if you gave me a superhero book, I could do that. I just want to do Tuff Stuff because I want to have fun and tell funny stories. And this is his cartooning style. I super respect the fact that I see him as a cartoonist. Like he's a jack of a lot of trades, and it's been nice seeing him get some like recognition and more work. This is another one of those pages. It's interesting. Reminds me a lot of the Juan Jose Rip, like the real detailed stuff. It's not quite as detailed, but it's a good callback to the first issue. Again, another great ad telling you, Kevin, give me a book of just freaking stupid ads littered throughout, man. Sex Toy Story by Dixar. You got a friend in me. Just so great. There's some interesting stuff also happening in here. The pen work on some of this stuff is really interesting. Very atypical for Kevin, but I also think, again, that's just him showing like, hey, I can do whatever you put in front of me. Because anybody who missed it, this is this is the cover to Hard Boiled by Jeff Darrow. Like he's got a wonderful visual lexic. Look at, like, dude, I'm telling you, yes, it's an anthropomorphic cat with a metal arm and guns, but dude, he can boss stuff up well. And I'm interested to see where Kevin's going. His trajectory is nowhere but up from here. This book has wonderful packaging. Story, again, was super fun. I thought a lot more dense than the first issue. There was a lot more to like read. And I felt like maybe he has a better grasp of the entire world that he's writing in now that he doesn't have to necessarily give details on like this is setting up the character and blah 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 blah. Now he's just free to just tell stories, which is I think where he's probably going to come into his own. There are some nice callbacks to the first issue though. Like you're seeing the same characters, but it's cool to see how he changes stuff up a little bit from issue to issue. It's fun to compare the two. Again, got a nice The Museum, nice pinup series in the back. This, I was like, okay, R. Crumb right there, because there's a lot of R. Crumb that's going on in this book. Super fun stuff, guys. Yeah, if you've not checked out Kevin's stuff, I can't recommend him enough. Like, even his commissions are absolutely bonkers, man. I've seen a couple of really crazy ones. And I can tell you personally, this piece that he did for the William Messner Loeb sale is absolutely stunning in person. The only thing that sucks about him doing this piece is that I have to get rid of it because I want that on my wall forever so much. So if you want something of your own or you just want to pick up some Tuff Stuff, make sure to check out Kevin Delgado, aka Solstice Art, on Instagram and all of his other social media as far as I'm aware. And if you enjoyed this, make sure you stick around. In 15 minutes after the live premiere here on YouTube, me and Kevin are going to be going live on Instagram, and we'll do a little interview and just hang out and talk. And if you guys have any questions, you can ask him. We'll have all the pertinent details on how to pick up stuff and what's in print, what's coming. But I did, want to do this episode while you guys could get in your orders for the first issue of Tuff Stuff out by Source Point Press. I believe you can pick up the self-published Tuff Stuff Goes to Rehab in this crazy packaging, super cool packaging from Kevin himself. But if you want exact details about that, make sure you tune in to Instagram after this. I hope you all enjoyed, maybe even saw something you want to pick up. If you want your book featured in the Indie Spotlight series, just get into my contact information and drop me a line, and I will get you information about how to get your stuff onto the channel. If you did enjoy what you saw, make sure you hit that like button. Think about getting in the comment section below and letting me know if you really enjoyed what you saw. Make sure you Hulk smash that subscribe button. If you do that, make sure you ding the little notification bell so you never miss another video or premiere. Again, if you feel like you're in a position to help the channel grow, think about using the link in the description below to sign up for my Patreon page. For as little as $3 a month, you get access to tons of behind-the-scenes posts, updates, exclusive content like uncut interviews, and you can even get your name in the credits. If you want to support the channel, if Patreon is not your thing, have no fear. You can finally sign up for membership right here on YouTube. Just hit the little join button and make sure to select the tier and the perks that fit you best. If that's not enough, you can also make one-time donations towards specific goals or just tip the channel using the Ko-Fi link in the description below. And you can even pick up your very own JerkComic shirts like the ones you see on the screen now. As always, this video was brought to you by the Jerk Broadcasting Service, as well as generous grants from the Patreon, Ko-Fi, and YouTube members you see on the screen now. I seriously want to thank every single one of you that supports the channel and helps make these videos possible, with a super special thanks to my loyal Wednesday Warriors, Channel 10, Chasen, Clinton Salvini, and Mike Dolan. I really hope the quality and content is getting better, and I can't wait to see where this next year takes us with your continued support. Thank you again for helping this crazy dream of mine become a reality, and for sticking with me. I hope you all enjoyed, maybe even learned something, and as always, I really, truly, and honestly ask only two things. Keep it in those local shops, and keep reading comics.